Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fintech Frenzy. So, today we got quite a few things on the news. I wanted to talk about SoFi. Uh, I saw a couple users getting a little bit mad about something that they've recently seen during this meme stock craze. I wanted to talk about that. Robinhood launching new products as well as actually updating their monthly numbers for April, monthly metrics. So we'll take a look at that dashboard as well. A couple of S&P 500 targets I want to talk about, potentially Square. But then obviously the main part of this episode, I want to talk about institutions buying fintech, which, spoiler alert, we have, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different fintechs that I've seen get bought up by institutions. Now that we're starting to see these 13Fs, not one am I seeing in the sell column. So seeing a lot of fintechs being bought right now, not necessarily being sold. Okay. First, let's jump into Robinhood's dashboard. So this is my newest fintech holding, Robinhood. I'm now up to a pretty large list. I've got Hood, Shift4, SoFi, Nubank, Square, PayPal, lots of stuff. So Robin the Hood. Hey, I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. All right, so what we can see here for April's metrics, funded accounts had actually gone up 90,000 month over month. Now we've broken into that 24 million total funded customers. On a month over month basis, especially after seeing what we saw in March, this is extremely exciting. We're not going to see that continuous 300 streak every single time unless there's real, sort of meme craze or some reason to come back for a lot of these traders. And a lot of what you're seeing with GameStop, with AMC, with Faraday Futures, whatever, is actually happening in May. Okay, we have to remember this is a lagging indicator. Assets under custody actually did see a slight little drop off from 129.6 to 123.3. Perfectly fine, however. Cash sweep is actually seeing more and more going into gold, and actually a slight decrease in the non-gold cash sweep, which potentially could be showing that the gold memberships are increasing at even faster rates, but it's a hard way to look at it. Net deposits, this one is extremely exciting. So we already knew this. They said they added about 5 billion just in April. They said that on the earnings call. Now we're getting to see that 4.9 billion added in April, a 45% annualized growth. It's the fastest growth rate that we've seen across the board. So very, very exciting. Now, with net deposits, this is a little bit of a leading indicator for what people are going to do with their money. You bring more money onto the Robinhood platform, you're going to catch yourself potentially spending more on buying equities, buying crypto, potentially buying more options contracts. So some of these numbers might not represent the same as the net deposits that we've seen this month, but still very interesting to look at. Equities seeing a slight drop off from the 2 months of February and March, but is higher than literally every other month of the last 12. So quite interesting there. Options contracts traded did actually break into new highs. 126.6 million, up 68% year over year, 7% month over month. The important part about this, options, that's where Robinhood makes all of their money. So equities are great. They do make money there. They make a crap ton of money from options. So it's actually more of an important metric there, in my opinion. In crypto, someone pointed this out to me as well. The total amount of crypto traded between last quarter, January, February, and March, could still be hit if they continue to hold up at least decent or above average crypto volumes in the second period. So this is only Q1. We've already seen about 10 billion in total crypto volume, which is doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Margin book staying absolutely flat. Lots of money there. I did actually want to add, there wasn't this metric It's much smaller, but here, wait, give me 1 second. Because they did also show off in their PDF, they showed off, um, what was it? Securities lending revenue. That's what I wanted to show off. Your monthly metrics, uh, PDF. There we go. Okay. So this is a smaller line on their revenue, but it's still important because it does make them, real money. Total securities lending revenue. So all of in 2023, we saw anywhere between 10 to 17 million dollars of securities lending, and that trend has finally gotten broken. So in March, it was 17 million. This quarter, 21 million dollars just made in this single month. Okay, so if they can continue to hold that through May and June, you could potentially be seeing somewhere around $60 million just coming from securities lending. It's a small line, but it's growing. And that added diversification definitely could be beneficial to Robinhood's top line at the end of the quarter. So, yeah, I don't know why they don't do a chart on that. It's definitely growing. My thoughts on what is this, Mogo or whatever? That's the Canadian brokerage. Uh, I don't have an opinion. They're extremely small. I think I tried to make an account with them one time a long time ago, and it wasn't my favorite experience. Okay, let's jump into another little piece of news. This one is exceptionally tiny, but um, I just want people to be aware of this. So I had a user reach out to me, and they showed this off. Bear with me. I don't know why it's all the way on the left side of my screen, but uh, oops. And they were actually watching my live stream whenever they got this email. Funny enough, but um, this says this is your first pattern day trading warning. Okay, hi Trenton. You bought and sold the same security during the same trading day 2 times within the last 5 business days. As a reminder, if you make 4 day trades within 5 business days, your account will be labeled as a pattern day trader, and you'll be restricted from trading. Now, uh, at first glance, that can seem like SoFi is trying to not allow people to be able to buy and sell or do something like this, whereas Robinhood potentially might be able to. But pattern day trading is something that FINRA is actually advising on. So it doesn't matter if you're with Webull, you're with Robinhood, you're with TD, Schwab, whatever. It's the same exact thing. Now, you could say to yourself, hey, at Robinhood, I've been able to buy and sell. I've been able to buy and sell companies, normally. But the important part is for Trenton here, you need to have at least $25,000 in your account in order to be able to resume trading this way. All right. So kind of just saving a little bit of a security for sort of the smaller accounts. But that's not something that is necessarily SoFi specific. It is a part of Robinhood. It is a part of Schwab. It's part of all accounts in America. So, yeah, don't fret if if that pops up and you're thinking that SoFi Invest is sort of doing you dirty. It's not. It's regulation, but potentially for your own good. It's an SEC requirement. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about just a little bit more Robinhood, and then we'll go over um, into the institutions buying up fintech stocks. They said the Wells notice. Who cares? Robinhood Crypto launches staking in Europe with localized apps to follow. So essentially, what they're saying is that, and this is only for Europe, but essentially they want to add. Here, wait, where is it? I'm losing my frame here. Starting today, we're introducing our first ever crypto staking product, which will be available exclusively to our customers in Europe. Robinhood crypto customers can now stake their Solana holdings directly through the app, allowing them to earn rewards with flexibility to unstake at any time. Now, if I pull up this image or if I just zoom in, you'll actually see, I don't know if you can see that, but I can just read it out to you. Uh, you'll make an estimated 5% APY. Now, if that is exactly 5%, like what it's saying around here, 5% APY, you can kind of potentially get Solana for maybe 6.5, 7%, depending on what the fees are from the actual, what do you call it? Like the node holder or whatever it's called. Uh, so where's that extra 1.5, 2% going? Well, potentially Robinhood is taking that for their fee for this simplistic, uh, operation. They click, you join in, you don't have to worry about all the timings and everything like this, and you can just simply make an easy APY, but it's not as much as what you'd potentially be earning on your own if you went directly with those distributors. Uh, for the people who do have Solana and want to go directly with those node holders or whatever they're called, I'm blanking here, but uh, Phantom Wallet is absolutely the best in my opinion. Uh, but hey, if you're in Europe, you want to give a little bit of extra money to uh, Robinhood or potentially earn yourself an additional 10% on net buys over the first 30 days on the platform, then use Robinhood. Another cool thing, they said, to better serve our customers in the coming weeks, we'll begin launching local language versions of Robinhood Crypto's app, starting with Italy, Poland, and Lithuania. They also go down to say Poland, Italy, and Lithuania are among the top countries in Europe for Robinhood Crypto app downloads. Pretty cool. And that roughly a third of Robinhood crypto users in Europe told us that this is their first crypto trading platform. Also pretty cool. Beavis, what's up, man? I'm doing great. I don't day trade. How come I don't get that message? Well, that's because you're not day trading. That's why. Any news on SoFi Invest level two options? So you have access to level two options right now. It's level one that's not currently available. Um, and no, I don't have any news. I think that it'll be a 2025 update. From what I heard a long time ago, potentially like 6 months ago, is that they really pushed that off and they're going after more automated investing tools. And essentially, what that rumor was, where I remember like hearing people on Twitter saying, "Hey, Tanner, stop spreading FUD," has worked out literally like exactly what I suspected that was going to happen. They've been putting out private equity funds. They're working with a new company now. They got rid of crypto. All the things that were part of that rumor have essentially come true so far. So it'll probably be a 2025 update unless they've pushed it forward since then. Okay, so let's talk about large funds buying fintechs. This is actually very exciting. First off, we got my largest fintech in my portfolio now, quickly rising to the number one spot, which is Nubank because of the appreciation of the company. But has the company gone too high in its stock price? SoftBank doesn't think so. So SoftBank, if you guys don't know, an old uh, venture investor in SoFi. It was at one point the largest investor in SoFi, has completely pulled out of that position, but not pulled out of Nubank. They had 22 million shares of this company, so a crap ton, but they don't think that the current price in the $11, $12 mark, breaking new highs, is necessarily overvalued. They just bought another 1.3 million shares, bringing their total up to 23.3 million shares of Nubank. Another massive investor, the Saudi Arabia Sovereign Fund, just bought Nubank, starting a new position, 1.18 million shares. These are small buys for the actual size of these funds, but look at the companies that they ended up selling off. They sold off BlackRock, JP Morgan, Home Depot, Costco, Datadog, and they said, you know what? It's time that we start investing in Latin American fintech companies like Nubank. So I thought that was pretty good praise for the company that I already love and hold. Whale Rock actually started opening up some pretty interesting positions as well. Companies that I like Salesforce, like Micron. They also bought a company called AppLovin and Marvel Technology. But one of the other companies that they ended up getting into was Toast Stock. Okay, so that restaurant point of sale terminals, right? Toast, pretty interesting. They ended up buying some shares of that. I didn't actually, the article that I read about that on Seeking Alpha did not actually disclose the amount of shares. And that was like right before I went live. So I'll look that up later. But Tudor Investments. Okay, so we're looking at Paul Tudor Jones, an investor of SoFi. Interestingly enough, in the last little bit, as well as Jim Simmons, also recently an investor in SoFi. So just really quickly, this wasn't going to be part of the episode, but I just want to bring this up as well. SoFi Technologies. Jim Simmons, the late Jim Simmons, has one of the best, if not the best, hedge fund of all time called Renaissance Technologies. He essentially brought quant investing and, was the first real dude that was using machine learning and just perfected the stock market. They started buying SoFi stock. And so I want to get this right. In Q4 of 2023, he bought about 200,000 shares of SoFi to start his position. And in Q1 of 2024, he added an additional nearly 5 million shares. So now they're at about 5.2 million shares, something like that. I'll have to look it up again. But so they're investing like crazy. Paul Tudor Jones also investing in SoFi. But one of the ones that they just added to the list for Tudor Investments is PayPal stock. Just opened up a new stake in this company of 888.3 thousand shares of PayPal stock. The list goes on. Michael Burry from Scion Asset Management actually is increasing his portfolio in Block stock, or ticker symbol SQ, another company that I hold in the fintech space. He was originally holding 50,000 shares of the company, so he's been long for some time, but ended up going from 50,000 to 90,000 shares in the company. Across the board, we're seeing fintechs seeing massive increases in their institutional holdings just from these real popular names on their 13Fs. But that's not necessarily all. Now, I didn't see many 13Fs posting about purchases in this company. However, after today, there definitely will be because the appreciation in the stock price. But really quick, let me just share this. Boom. Shift4 up 11% today. 11% to $72.16, making sure that I'm healthily above my purchase price. For a little bit, whenever I first ended up buying the company, I think it was like $68 and something cents. The stock ended up crashing after that for like the next. Here, wait. So where was it? I think it was somewhere around here or something like this where I was buying. And then the stock ended up going into this big gully. I was buying shares as much as I could, catching it some here, some here, some here. But now we're all the way up back at $72 a share. Pretty interesting. So why is that? I don't have any necessary institutions or anything that are buying this company. Well, probably the most important person to buy the company, which is the CEO, ended up buying a lot of shares, about $5.7 million worth of shares yesterday. Just saying, hey, if institutions don't want to buy my company, or if private equity firms do not want to try to buy out our company for a fair rate, I'm going to buy it back myself. And obviously the market absolutely loved that. So they are running up the stock, potentially a mix of retail, a mix of institutions. 11% today. Feels good. Another interesting thing here. BMO Capital Markets actually just raised their S&P 500 end of year targets to 5,600 by the end of the year. They are the highest estimates on Wall Street. And that's just following what they had previously, which was essentially 5,200 before. Or it was 5,150, something like that. Trent, I think I brought up your tweet, by the way, my friend. So you can go back and check that out. Wow, 5.7 million. That's nice. I could use some of that. PayPal? No, I use Square so I can charge my clients 3%. Um, let's see what else people are saying. Ooh, John Blake putting out a pretty interesting statement here. He says, Block is the best fintech. I mean, I like them. Uh, I actually think that Nubank is the best fintech in terms of uh, all of the fintechs, but um, SoFi, in my opinion, is definitely up there. I think that right now, because the way that the stock price is going, that people are, I don't know, losing hope or losing steam in the company, and that's essentially potentially when the opposite may end up happening. Right? You bleed out a lot of those paper handers, and then maybe the stock runs after that. But I I have no bias because I own all of them. But essentially, the way that I like them is kind of in the order in which I'm holding them. Actually, that's not true. PayPal is probably really high up on that list, and I don't like the company that much. I just like the valuation. Um, so I guess that's maybe uh, my portfolio bias rather than my actual bias in the company because I think that the company culture is absolutely shit, and a company like um, and now sorry, what was I going to say? A company like Nubank with such an amazing culture, I think deserves much better. Robinhood, Acorns, M1, Webull, and Moomoo, are those fintechs? Yep. Yeah, it's just financial technology. So, um, yeah, brokerages definitely fall in the likes of fintech. It's weird calling companies technology companies because every company uses technology, right? Um, but essentially, it's more. It's not necessarily like I think a quote that can be like. I think all companies could be argued if that makes sense. Institutions are buying SoFi. Institutions are buying SoFi. Uh, they might not be buying enough for what you're happy with, but if this stock went from $7 to $9, a lot of people here would not be happy. But the actual stock price, like that's a massive increase in a stock price on a percentage basis. Who's the next FTX guys due to crypto gambling? Are you talking about Square? You think them DCAing? This is what I assume you're saying is that them DCAing into Bitcoin is similar to FTX crypto. Oh, Robinhood. Okay. So wait. Why is the FTX played with their own money? That's the problem. They well, actually, not even their own money. Their customers' money. Uh, Hood is just giving their customers tools to be able to do what they want to do with it. I think that's perfectly okay. I have zero problems with. I actually think like allowing customers to go out and buy AMC or buy Robinhood is perfectly acceptable, especially now with more disclosures. Like I think whenever people are buying those companies, as long as you say like, "Hey, this company's fundamentals aren't actually that great," and you are now sort of in the speculation side of things, treat this as a casino. If people know that, then go right ahead. You know, who's to stop an adult from spending their own money? It's just if people start thinking like, oh, this is an investment, so I can put much more money into this than I would bring to a casino. That's where the problem might lie. But yeah, if institutions are buying, then why is the number not going up? Well, because there's other people that are selling or betting against. It's a massive market. They're not one conglomerate team. There's companies that make bets, and Like I was reading one of these companies that I really like. I forget which one it was. It might have been Saudi sovereign wealth fund uh, that was selling Nvidia, or sorry, was buying Nvidia, and Stanley Druckenmiller was selling Nvidia. Two insanely smart investors that take opposite sides of a single trade. SoFi's earnings results, preferred loans. I update this every quarter. Pagaya continues to be vital for its customers. Pagaya is now over 60% of the total personal loan volume that SoFi originates. They are growing. Okay, referred loans continues to slow down for SoFi. Not at the fault of Pagaya, but it's definitely not a vital part of SoFi's business at all. Like at all. They would drop off and you wouldn't even see that they're gone. But it's added revenue, so it's fine. But um, the problem with Pagaya is that just they have no disclosures. Try making a spreadsheet or any sort of numbers on that company. They are the biggest black box I've ever seen. They disclose nothing, nothing. So I'm not freaking trying to invest in a company that I can't break down any number on, like at all. Have a look at Grab. It just reported. Yeah, I want to look at Grab. From what I heard, is that they're quickly becoming more of a super app, um, like pretty quickly. But I just haven't had the time. Let's see here. Not a lurker anymore, and I'm not a lurker. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think I did all the news. There were a couple small things from Square talking about adding more integrations for different restaurant technology, stuff like this, um, and the cost of payroll increasing for bars and lowering for quick service restaurants. But um, that's just small stuff. I'm gonna get going and see you guys on the next one. What's stopping new to enter US, Europe, Africa, and the rest of LATAM? Nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time. But bye for now.